Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. It's your girl cooking with Tammy. Want to know how to make a delicious sticky chicken finger recipe? Well, look no further because today we are going to be making some delicious sticky chicken fingers. So without further ado, let's introduce our ingredients and get to cooking. First one up is our chicken tenders. This is about 2 pounds of chicken tenders. But before we move on, I gotta tell you, make sure you rinse your chicken off. Cleaning the chicken is pretty simple. All you have to do is to a bowl, add some cold water, salt, lemon juice, place the chicken in there. Use your fingers to remove any residue. Once you're done, you're gonna rinse the chicken on off with cold water, of course, until the water runs clear. Grab a couple paper towels, pat the chicken dry, and boom, in less than 5 minutes, you're done. For our seasonings, we're gonna need salt, ground black pepper, paprika, garlic powder, buttermilk, your favorite brand of hot sauce, all-purpose flour, and my newly released 5-star all-purpose chicken seasoning. When I tell you everything tied and wrapped up into one bottle, I'm trying to make cooking so much more easier to the point where all you have to do is grab one bottle to get the job done. Just in case you want to know what's in this bottle, guys, I've added salt, ground black pepper along with sage. Yes, we're using sage not only for Thanksgiving, but we're going to be using sage all year round, along with ground mustard, thyme, crushed peppers, onion, and garlic powder. And did I forget to mention that this seasoning is a low sodium seasoning as well? Yay! Which makes it even better. So I'm not going to feel guilty if I have to add a little bit more of this delicious all-purpose seasoning to my chicken. We're going to get in there. We're going to add enough. Make sure the chicken is perfectly coated. So use those fingers and get in there really well to incorporate all of the seasoning onto the chicken. We're going to add our buttermilk. Make sure you add enough buttermilk to be able to cover the chicken. Now here's the thing. The reason why we're adding the buttermilk, I know a lot of our ancestors added buttermilk to the chicken, but some of us, we just do things, but we don't know why we do it. So here's one of the reasons why adding buttermilk is beneficial to chicken. The slight acidity in the buttermilk is what's going to tenderize the chicken without it becoming too tough or chewy. So if you didn't know, now you know, or if you knew before, it's finally confirmed. But the main thing is there's always a backstory when it comes to cooking. We're going to add our favorite brand of hot sauce. That could be anything that you prefer, whether it be, let's say, Frank's Red Hot, Crystals, or Cholula. Doesn't matter. Just add the hot sauce. Once you're done, you're going to incorporate the hot sauce with the buttermilk. This looks perfect. We're going to grab some saran wrap, cover it on down, and place it into the refrigerator for about 2 hours. This is one of those dishes, because of the 2-hour time lapse, it makes a lot of sense to prepare it ahead of time. In the meanwhile, let's go ahead and season up our flour. When it comes to the amount of flour, it really doesn't matter. Just add a good amount of flour to a Ziploc bag or maybe even a bowl to get the job done. We're going to add our salt, ground black pepper, garlic powder, and paprika. And of course, some of our delicious 5-star all-purpose seasoning as well. If you don't have the seasoning, you can use salt, pepper, sage, ground mustard, garlic and onion powder, crushed pepper, and thyme. We're going to close the bag on up. Shake it around really good. Make sure all of that delicious seasoning is incorporated throughout the flour. After about 2 hours, we're going to grab our chicken. Allow some of the excess buttermilk to drain off from the chicken. We're not just going to take the chicken fresh out of the buttermilk and place it into the bag. Nah, we're not going to do that. So just be patient. Allow that excess buttermilk to drip on off. Once we're done, we're going to place a couple pieces into the flour. Shake it around really good and allow all of that seasoned flour to coat the chicken. I went ahead and set up my cooling rack simply because we're going to place the chicken onto the cooling rack, allowing any extra dredge or flour to fall off of the chicken. If you look closely, you can tell that this is going to be some crispy, good chicken. You hear me? You can just tell by the way the flour coats the chicken. It's going to be everything. Anyway, we're going to be using our deep fryer for this job today, guys. However, if you don't want to use your deep fryer, or maybe you don't have a deep fryer, feel free to use a deep pot. Add enough oil, and you're going to deep fry your chicken as well. Bring the oil on up to at least 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're going to fry our tenders for about 20 minutes, give or take. Now, to assure that your chicken is cooked all the way through thoroughly, the best thing I would suggest is to invest in a thermometer. Once the thickest part of the chicken reaches an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit, That will be the indication that your chicken is cooked through perfectly. If not, we're going to have to play the guessing game to see whether or not if our chicken is cooked all the way through. After about 20 minutes, this is it. Our chicken tenders are beautifully golden brown and nice and crispy. I'm just going to set the basket on top of the air fryer to allow any of that excess oil to drain off before placing it onto my cooling rack, guys. This right here is absolutely gorgeous. Anyway, it's time for us to make our delicious sticky sauce. So for that, we're going to need light brown sugar along with our favorite brand of hot sauce, a little bit of water, butter, and some type of sweetener. For this particular recipe, I'm going to be using blue agave nectar. I love this stuff, guys. You could pick it up at your local Costco's or even at your local grocery store, depending on where you shop at. Anyway, if you can't get your hands on agave nectar, you can definitely use a small pinch of honey or any other type of sweetener, maybe a little maple syrup. I'll be sure to leave some examples of different sweeteners in the description bar. Using a medium flame to a medium saucepan, we're going to add our butter. We're going to allow the butter to become nice and melted. When we're done, we're going to add our light brown sugar. Break that on up. Incorporate the butter with the sugar. We're going to introduce our hot sauce. Get all of the hot sauce in the pan. Even though we're adding hot sauce, the sauce is not going to be spicy. Add our small amount of water to the mix. We're just going to mix it up really quickly. And of course, last but not least, we're going to add our sweetener. Stir that on in as well. Make sure everything is well combined. As I mentioned, we're cooking this sauce on a medium flame. We're going to give it about a couple minutes, maybe about 5 minutes, give or take, to allow the sauce to reduce. Once the sauce starts to reduce and comes to a slow simmer, you're going to see a lot of bubble action going on. Stir it on up once again. Allow the sauce to slightly coat the back of the spoon, and that will be the perfect indication to remove the sauce from the stovetop and turn the flame off. Once we're done, we're going to take our beautiful sticky sauce and we're going to add it to the chicken. This consistency of the sauce right here is perfect. We don't want to reduce it anymore and allow the sauce to get any thicker. Simply because what's going to happen is when you pour the sauce onto the chicken, it's going to be really hard because the sauce is so extremely sticky to coat the chicken in the sauce. So allow the sauce to be slightly liquefied, all right? That's a key tip from Cooking with Tammy. So therefore, it makes spreading the sauce onto the chicken a lot easier. Not to mention, as the sauce starts to dry, it's going to thicken up anyway. And trust me, it's going to be sticky. You're going to need some wet wipes to clean your fingers once you're done. Be sure to add some of that extra delicious sauce on top of your chicken before you serve it on up. And as always, I'm your girl Cooking with Tammy. Don't forget to purchase your seasonings at cookingwithtammy.shop. And until next time, guys, I will definitely catch you in another video. Talk to you later. Bye, guys.